Hey everyone, Jack here, TalkNorwichCity. Welcome back to another video. I hope you're all doing very well indeed. Back today to discuss Marcelino Nunez. It's a name we haven't talked about too much this summer, and surprisingly, actually, I thought there would be more chatter around Marcelino Nunez. There were three players, I think, going into this transfer window that we expected there to be a lot of noise about. Borja Science, we've had that. We've had the sale, £14.25 million to Porto. Done deal. Nice and early. Contract was running low. Norwich have extracted a decent fee from Porto for him. Josh Sargent, we've had plenty of chatter about Josh so far. Looked like a move to the Bundesliga in the shape of Wolfsburg was happening, and has stalled at this stage. I think if you were a betting person, the odds were still heavily stacked in the favour of Josh leaving the football club, but 48 hours before Norwich kick off their championship opener against Millwall, he is still very much a Norwich City player. And the other player was Marcelino Nunez, a midfielder that has had a pretty successful time at Norwich. He's been here since August of 2022, has played close to 120 times for the club, and I think probably last season, despite slightly stuttered, was probably the most successful campaign yet under Johannes Hoff-Torup. Two of those look very likely to leave in the shape of, well, Borja's gone. Josh is probably likely to go. May well stay, and I hope he does stay. But Marcelino has been really quiet up until this point. And I'm not sure if there's a bit of agent chatter going on here. Now, let's take a look at where we're at with Marcelino. You'll see there on screen, he has been linked with Turkish side Trabzonspor. Trabzonspor. I think that's how you say it. Turkey. He was linked there last summer. Now, apparently a bid was rejected this time last year. I think Marcelino Nunez was deemed a player that Norwich had to keep. Quite a pivotal part of that midfield. Obviously, since then, we've signed Jacob Wright. We've signed Mirko Topic, and Kenny McLean remains at the football club. Granted, he will be injured for the start of this campaign, but they have bolstered that midfield area. So Marcelino Nunez's future is up in the air somewhat. He's got 12 months left on his contract, and I think that's quite a key point here. Much like Borja, we didn't want to get in a position with Borja where we end up letting him go on a free. They're not going to want that to happen with Marcelino Nunez. There's not been much in regard to interest, certainly not that's been reported anyway. Now, the Pinken said earlier that no talks have been held with any potential suitors, but Sporting Director Ben Napper. No talks have been held with Ben Napper, but several clubs, including in Spain, are believed to be interested. Now, we've still got a little bit of time left of the transfer window, so still a lot can happen. But at this stage, 7th of August, no interest in Marcelino Nunez. Now, Turkish outlets last summer said that Trabzonspor, that's a mouthful, isn't it, were very interested in Nunez, and they lodged a bid. Now, that was at the very start of Johannes Hoff-Torup's era at Norwich City, although very short-lived. We'd sold Ida, we'd sold Sarah, we'd sold Rowe. His squad has been decimated. I think Norwich were in a position where they had to keep hold of Marcelino Nunez. We were also without Jacob Wright. We were also without Mirko Topic. They weren't at the football club at that stage. The midfield was quite light. So it was understandable that they rejected the bid at that stage. There's a couple of other players that have been linked with Trabzonspor so far, including Pellegrini from Roma. But they see Nunez as a more affordable option. Now, we paid just over £3 million for Marcelino Nunez from Chile in 2022. And a couple of kind of data providers, including the one that we use, rate Marcelino Nunez's transfer fee at around the £5 million mark. Now, will we get that? Who knows? He's still pretty young. I think people forget he's 25 years old, so very much in the bracket of coming into their prime. And look, I've seen a few comments today since this story's come out. Let me have a sip of coffee. I've seen a few comments from people about this going, oh, let him go. Oh, we don't need him. You know, oh, we've got Wright, we've got Topic now, so we're all good. I think that's a little bit unfair on Marcelino Nunez. I think that Nunez was a very important part of last season. I think we would have been in a far worse position than we were without Nunez. I think he's an incredibly talented footballer. I think when he's fit and he's playing regularly, his ability to orchestrate the tempo of a game is unmatched at this club. And I think that's a really, really valuable player and characteristic to have. I'm going to release a video probably tomorrow, actually, looking at the players that Norwich City might be looking to sell. Now, we have brought in 11 players this summer. That's a lot. And at the moment, the squad is pretty bulky. We've not let many go. We'll go into who we think might leave, who's gone so far, and what the rest of the transfer window looks like. Because going into the first game of the season, we've got a very heavy squad. You look at Anis Ben Slimane, Shane Duffy, Brad Hills, etc., 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 not even getting into the squad at the moment. So we need to let some go. I mentioned the purchases of Wright and Topic. If you look at the squad at this stage, the midfield is pretty packed out. You would say that on opening day, Topic and Wright will be the starters. You've obviously got Kenny McLean, who'll be returning from injury. You've got Anis Ben Slimane. Now, I think Norwich will look to sell him. You've got Liam Gibbs, who I think Liam Manning really likes. You've got Emi Marcondes. Where does he fit in? Maybe they're looking to shift him. You've got Michael Forson, who I think they'll play further forwards. So you've got definitely three, McLean, Wright, and Topic, who will be pretty confident in the middle of the park. You may well see McLean dropping into like a third centre-back. I don't know how Liam Manning's going to go. I think Liam Gibbs will be on the cusp. He's still only 22 years old. I think they'll be wanting to bed him in a little bit. So there is a world where Marcelino Nunez is sellable. That is a possibility. But I think it's unfair, and it's actually just untrue, to say that he's completely disposable. Now, will Marcelino fit into the current setup? Is he better than Jacob Wright? I don't think so. Is he better than Mirko Topic? We don't know. I think Marcelino Nunez is a very talented Championship player. I've not seen Mirko Topic play for Norwich yet, so I don't know how to judge that. But the fact that they signed him and they were so desperate to sign a defensive midfielder, it was either him or Pelle Matson, shows to me that they might see Nunez's future elsewhere. Now, I must say, having read a lot of transfer rumours this summer, I think this is a bit of agent talk. Or if not, this is a bit of Norwich City talk. Trying to get some interest drummed up for Marcelino Nunez. I don't know why there's been such little interest. I think they'll be willing to sell Nunez for relatively cheap. He's young. He's played a lot of football. He's a little bit injury prone, but not too bad. He's played 120 times in 3 years. That's pretty good going. I think Nunez would be a great purchase for anyone. His ability to move the ball on, to slow things down, to speed things up. Can he go missing in games? Sure. Is he the perfect midfielder? No, absolutely not. But will he give you regular 6, 7 out of 10 performances in the Championship and sometimes burst into a 9? Yes, he will. Ipswich at home a couple of seasons ago. Brilliant performance. I look at sort of Luton away last year. Bit of a random one, but that's popped into my mind. Picked up a goal, tough tackling, really combative all game. That's the Nunez performance that he can deliver. So I guess watch this space with Nunez. I'd like to see him stick around. Is there a world where we sell him? Probably yes. Do we need to lighten the squad? Absolutely we do. And would it be better to sell him now for 5 million quid than let him go next summer on a free? Of course it would. So that's where we lie with Nunez. Let me know what you think, because we've not really discussed Nunez at all this summer, which is strange because you would probably rank him in the top 3 in terms of sellable assets. Borja, Sargent, Nunez. They were the 3. And very little chatter around Nunez. So let me know what you think down in the comment section below. I think there's a few points on this. Do you want to keep him? That's the point 1. Point 2 is, if we do sell him, how much do you think he's worth? And point 3 is, have we got enough midfield reinforcement if Nunez were to leave? I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. Millwall at home on Saturday. Season gets underway. Cannot wait for that. Thank you so much for all of your support on the recent content. We are nearly at 28,000 subscribers, which is a lot. And I know loads of you watch but don't necessarily subscribe. It's completely free and you get notified when we upload a new video if you do subscribe. So that would be much appreciated. Thanks very much for watching and I'll see you all again very soon. Bye-bye.